All right, time now for Great Day Food. Nothing beats homemade bread, but it can be such a process to make.
I would be intimidated, but we are making focaccia. Chef Plum is here to say it is so easy, anyone can do it, and we're going to look like a rock star if we just know how to make this simple recipe.
Every single time. That's the thing. It's one of these doughs, like if you can make this one and keep it in your fridge or have it around, you can make anything with it, and I love it. It's such an easy recipe.
Right.
So there's a couple of steps, but it's not that hard. So let me show you, okay? So first, I've got a little bit of water here. This is warm water.
Yep.
I've got about 10 ounces of warm water here. Right there. Now, when you bake, you'll hear chefs talk about grams and weights and stuff like that, right? It's important because that's how you keep things actually perfect every single time. That's why a lot of bakers don't say, I've got half a cup of flour or I've got 3/4 of a cup, because everybody's cup measurements are a little bit different. By weight, it's always the same.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So these little packets of yeast you can buy in the store.
Fleischmann's yeast.
Yeah, this is 7 grams, actually.
Yep.
So we're going to use half of this, right? So I'm going to put this in here.
Half a pack.
Half a pack of that. And then that yeast, you got to think about, what does yeast do? Yeast likes to eat sugar.
Oh,
right? Yeast loves sugar.
So now we got to feed the yeast.
So we're going to add a little bit of honey to it.
Oh.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of honey in there, right?
Okay.
And then what we do is we let this get happy, right? So we take a fork, just give a little whisk around to mix that honey up in there.
Is it important that the water's warm?
Yes, yes. The yeast like warm water, and they'll react quicker in there. So essentially what's we're going to do is wait till it starts to foam on top. It takes a couple minutes. It's no problem at all. Because what happens is that yeast eats the sugar, and then the byproduct, is a nice way of putting it, is carbon dioxide, which is what causes bread to rise.
A lot of science
Makes
here.
sense, right?
Yeah, baking is like very science.
It is. It absolutely is. So then we're going to do, we've got this in here right now, so then we're going to add, this is, I like 00 flour, right? It's a chef's flour, that's what I like. 00 means it's like finely ground.
Double
is a kind, not the brand?
Yes, it's a kind. It's a grind on the flour.
Okay.
So it's super fine. So this recipe right here is going to use 500 kilograms. 500 grams, excuse me, not 1 kilogram.
This is where I'm lost. How do you know what that is?
Because this bag right here is 1 kilogram. See how it says 1 kilogram on the bag?
Yeah.
Right, we're going to use half the bag.
Okay.
So we're going to put that in there. And then you can mix this with your hands or with a fork to start moving it around. You just want to slowly start incorporating that together. Carrie, you want to start doing that? Sure. Kind of start mixing it together. What ends up happening is it starts to kind of come together and stick and become like this.
Okay.
Right? Which is
So
what we want.
that carrot stirring becomes this?
Yes, it becomes this right here.
Okay.
Makes a great pizza dough. Makes a great dumpling for a soup. You can do so much with this, but what we're going to do is turn this into a delicious focaccia. And you'll be mixing it. It takes a while, so you don't have to do it there. You can also do it in a big mixer, like a KitchenAid mixer. The dough hook, that works well too.
The dough hook, okay.
Right. But look, this is what you get in the end, which is awesome. So what we're going to do now is turn this into a focaccia. And I got a trick for you. So
we didn't need to let this rise overnight or do anything like that. That's where I always stop with bread. I'm like, who has the time? Okay, this is instant.
Right, you mix it, and then it's going to be a dough ball, and then it sits for a few minutes, and then it gets bigger.
Okay,
but not a long time. I mean, literally, it goes quick. So, and we're going to let the rising happen in this pan. So let me show you. So I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. Right, just a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Then we're going to just slide it around like this, which used to be my stop point. Okay, good. Now we're good to go. Nothing's going to stick. I just learned something really cool. Watch this. Put some panko breadcrumbs on the bottom of the pan.
Oh, wow.
And now it definitely won't stick. So we take the dough, pull it out of our bowl.
You raise me up.
And we put it down, and we're just going to stretch it out like this.
So it doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of rough and rustic?
It'll fill the pan up as it sits for a few minutes. So there we go. That's beautiful. Let that hang out for a minute. Now, the last part of this, which is really, really simple, we got to make a little special oil for it. You can do whatever you want. One of the things I do at my house that my family loves is a little bit of rosemary. This is just chopped fresh rosemary right here in the bowl. Lemon zest. Ooh. Lemon zest adds a lot of flavor.
Lemon, rosemary.
Oh, it's the best. A little bit of salt. Right?
Sea salt, you like?
Salt, yep, right there.
Oh, that's prettle good.
Yeah, but it goes away, though. It goes away. Right. And then olive oil.
Okay.
And then we'll just give this a nice little mix up here, right? A little more olive oil. Because this becomes an oil we basically drench all over the top of our bread, right? So after this sits for about 10 minutes, you'll take your fingers and press it down.
Okay.
And then we just take some of our oil and just pour it all over it like this.
Oh, look at that.
Right? And there's you're not going to ever put too much. Focaccia bread loves the olive oil.
Okay.
I have a 400-degree oven.
Yeah.
Pop it in the oven, about 40 minutes, and let me show you what happens. Check this out. This is the best.
Could you imagine how excited people would be if you brought this to the table?
I would be
Are you kidding me?
thrilled.
Look at that. How beautiful is that?
And how healthy, because it's homemade.
That's right. Let me show you the bottom. It doesn't stick because of those panko breadcrumbs we had there.
Crazy.
And it adds this crunchy little bits on the bottom, which is beautiful. Look at that, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Take it and slice it.
My mouth is watering.
Oh, it's so good. Slice it up, but look what happens. I was talking about that CO2 that yeast makes, right? Look at that. You can see those air pockets in there? Those little bubbles like here and here and here. That's from the CO2 that the yeast, the byproduct of the yeast eating the sugar. That's what causes the leavening. So when I get to this point, I slice it up. I'll put a little bit more of the olive oil and salt on there. Just kind of put some on there to finish it off. and then serve it. Slice up and serve it. I cut it small little pieces like this and just have it out there for the family. The kids love it. It's a great addition to a dinner or breakfast even.
How do you store should you store the dough or store the bread? Like if you made this in advance, is it better just keep the dough and then make it as you want? Or
you can store either one. The dough will hold up, let it sit for room temperature, and then when you put it away, I put mine in a Ziploc bag normally, and it comes out green the next day.
That's beautiful.
This is unbelievable, and it comes out great every single time. One of my favorites. I know you guys aren't eating bread, but I'll do it for you.
We're not eating gluten right now, but my mouth is watering, and this is so homemade and delicious.
It makes you want to dance.
Thank you, Chef Plum. How do we get in touch with you?
At Chef_Plum on Instagram. Show me your bread. I want to see it. It's delicious.
Yeah, and we're going to save this on the Great Day CT website for sure.
All right. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, friends.